Hi guys, it's Katie with String Expert. Today we're going to work on part 2 of the Minuet. Let me play it for you so you can hear what it's supposed to sound like, and then we'll start learning. We're just going to start after the repeat of the main melody. So that's the second half of the piece. Now, what we're doing is we're sort of continuing on the same theme that we did in the first half. So what we're going to do is we're going to play most of our eighth notes in the lower or the top half of the bow, and we're going to try and be very separated. So let's start from the beginning of the second half, and let's go through slowly and learn the notes. This is difficult for the same reasons that we talked about in the other video. We're crossing strings and we have to be very mindful of our bowing technique. So we start off with all of our eighth notes in the lower half of the bow, and then we play our next note and we shoot down to the top, and then we have up, up again. Now, one technique that I didn't mention in part 1 that you can practice in part 1 and part 2 is what we like to call shadow bowing. And shadow bowing is a great way to practice your different bow strokes. So what you do is you take your violin bow, and we all know the rule that you can't touch the horsehair here. But what you can do is just switch your bow around. So instead of holding it like this, we're going to hold it opposite. And then you can either rest it on your shoulder like this, or you can hold it in your hand like this. Either way works. I never like this because it was just kind of annoying. I like this because it's more of like the position that I typically play in. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to grab the top part of my bow like this, but I'm just sort of giving it a place to rest. And then I'm just going to practice the bow stroke. So we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up. And then for that G note, we're going to shoot down to the top. So let's practice that. Shoot, and then up, up. So let's try that. Down, up, down, up, shoot, up, up. And you can even say that when you practice. Down, up, down, up, shoot, up, up. So anytime you're practicing music and you're having difficulty with the bowing, one of the ways that you can practice that is just by doing the shadow bowing. It's perfect. And you'll see it a lot when you go to professional symphony players rehearsals or orchestra class rehearsals. A lot of the players go through and they just shadow bow stuff to make sure it's in the right spot. And it's a great way to practice your part if the teacher is working with somebody else and you don't need to be paying attention right at that moment. So instead of just sitting there, you could be working on your shadow bowing. Okay, so then moving on, let's play that section one more time. And then going on. And this is the same bowing as we just learned. And we have the next notes. Now, this section is also difficult for bowing. So let's shadow bow that. So we have G, F, E, G, F, E, F sharp, which are going to pull our bow down to the tip. Then we have a B that shoots us back up. And then we have an E that shoots us back down. And then we have 3/16 notes slurred, so we play them all in one bow, da-da-da. And then we have 3 more quarter notes, down, up, down. So this is also hard for bowing wise. I think bowing in the second half is much more difficult than it is in the first. Okay, so let's work on that. Shoot your bow down to the tip, then back to the frog, then down again, then play all 3 notes in one bow, getting all the way to the frog. And then the next note, D sharp. Oh. Okay, so does that kind of make sense in terms of fingering? Okay, now let's address this D sharp, okay? Because this is, I don't like D sharp. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's not one of those notes that I really enjoy playing. I mean, it's in music, we have to play it, but I hate it. I hate it for a lot of different reasons, but I think the difficulty is the fact that it's so hard to get in tune easily. So we're gonna play the D, or the B. Then we just have to simply reach our 3rd finger and get it right next to where our 4th finger should be. And then we can check to see if we got it right by playing the 4th finger. So a good way to practice this is just play. You can put the 4th finger down, then play the 3rd finger, and then practice without. Then go back. 1, 4, 1, 3. That's a good way to practice that. And D sharp. I just hate the way it sounds. So anyway, it's one of those things. Okay, then we have the 4th finger. We have D sharp again, and then open E. So let's play that whole section again. D sharp, D sharp again, and then going on, D natural. So now this is another section where it's difficult in terms of bowing. So we're going to play the G, and we're going to shoot our bow all the way to the top of the bow, and then we're going to play our 4/8 notes, short, 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 and then we're going to shoot back, play 8 notes, shoot back, play 8 notes, so on and so forth. So this is an important section because we need to make sure that each one of those quarter notes have the same amount of dynamics and interest and excitement. So what happens with a lot of beginner students is they start here at the bow and they do the first one and then they shoot. But they don't get all the way to the tip here. They shoot and they come up short, and so they're sort of in the middle of the bow. So if you're in the middle of the bow and then you play your 8 notes and then you shoot back and you don't make it all the way back, look, you're running out of room, and then pretty soon you're just out of bow. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like you have no rhythm, when the truth is it's not the rhythm, it's the bowing. Okay, so let's try that nice and slow. So we're gonna shoot and then short, 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 and then shoot, and then short, 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 and then shoot. And so let's practice that. Shoot, 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot, 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when you think you have it down, let's try it on an open A string. Then once you think you have it down, let's go through and play it with the notes. So we have G natural, then we have G, F sharp, E, D natural, and then we shoot back. And then we play 4 notes, E, D, C natural, E, and then shoot down for C, C, E, A, D, shoot back for F sharp, and then 2 short notes. So let's try that again. Difficult to practice things slowly, because slowly completely ensures that you understand and know the notes really, really well. If you constantly play things quickly, then you're not going to make sure that your notes are right, you're not going to make sure that everything's in tune, you're not going to perfect each note. So spend a lot of time playing through things slowly. So let's play that whole section again one more time slowly. This one's really hard. Change gears here. We're going to be really, really light and fluffy, even though we're still playing staccato notes. of this piece. Some, they have you slur different notes. So the bowing that I chose for this piece I really like because it's sort of a dynamic difference in contrast as opposed to some of the easier versions where you have a lot more slurs. So pay attention to that. So in my version I'm doing an up bow here and then 2 separate bows for the first one. And then the second one we're doing a down bow and then we're doing 2 up bows slurred. So it's going to be all 3 are separate. And then separate. And slur these together as an up up. Okay? And so the dynamics needs to change. It's from being very, very dramatic with that other section and then being really, really smooth. And then we go back and we play the main melody. So here's the main melody. Alright, so let me play the entire second half so you can hear it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, I am on Instagram and Snapchat, so send me a message. Bye for now.